understandable. So I've done my best shot at retaining her, and she's been an amazing. She's worked so hard over the past 12 weeks to prepare for this moment, and every time, I mean, we've hired 3 catering coordinators since she gave in her notice, and none have made it to the final day, which has been unfortunate. So it's been frustrating for her as she's trained people and then see them leave a couple of times, and she also cares so much that it's tough for her to know that we're already kind of in a tough spot, and that's another major piece that I won't have is going to be rough. But couldn't have asked for a better person to help out during that transition, and we wish her all the best of luck. So
you're in the market for another coordinator?
Shoot, I'm in the market for 5 of them at this point, and then hope one of them stick around for a week. Yeah. And as anyone who has attended these meetings know, like, I'm very particular, and I hope that most of you understand, like, the people that we hire are really, really good people, really friendly people, very hospitable, very friendly, and as easy as that seems, those are actually really hard qualities to find in an interview process. And so you look at just trying to find food and beverage managers and such. I mean, we've been aggressively hiring food and beverage managers since August, and we have 8 now. So we have 1 since August, and we're talking, like, if you look at our posting, it says food and beverage supervisor, assistant food and beverage manager, director of food and beverage. Like, we have restaurant manager, assistant restaurant manager. So I have what is that? 7 titles out there as a wide net to try and capture different style of applicants. And in what would that be? 6 months, 7 months, we've hired 1 person. So it is very, doesn't mean I haven't interviewed a bunch of people, but I've only offered and retained 1 person. So it is very challenging to find the right personality. And we do things that are so unique to any other business, right? I know with Lisa, a big thing was like, oh, I thought I was just doing, granted, we talk about it in the interviews, but they don't quite understand. Oh, I thought I was just doing, like, private events, where it was people call and, hey, I want to book a wedding, and we kind of go through that process. And for the most part, the catering coordinator does. But, to show the other side of the business, which is murder mystery dinners and the happier hours and the, Chinese New Year's and the St. Patty's Day or whatever it may be, that just blows people's minds away on that level. And then you look at, trying to hire, especially in that position, maybe you look at people that have worked at a retirement center, right, who have some of those activity coordinator type positions, but their stuff is a little more, let's say, elementary style. They don't have the budget to put forth a little bit bigger experience than we do, and so that kind of blows their mind away, right? You try and find a wedding planner, and they're more focused in on kind of these, $10,000 to $20,000 wedding planning jobs that are different from, a $1,500 member mixer event. And so it's very unique on what the club does, and because of that, it's very challenging to find someone that has that experience, which is not what we do. We don't hire based upon experience, but it's hard to also find someone that wants to mentally commit to doing something different, because it does require that leap of faith. It does require that challenge of, I don't know what I'm getting myself into here, and hopefully this is what I want to do, but it's a little bit different than what I'm used to. And so even with Nate, during our weekly one-on-ones, he loves it here. Everything's great with him, but he's like, it's just so different than my restaurant. There are some things that are very similar, but not only is the restaurant running, but you also got this wine program that's going on, and you got the wine dinners, and you've got, this event, and cooking universities, and you've got, Margarita Night, and you got, all the different stuff, the different layers that are going on. And so to find people that, A, can do that, which you won't find, and B, people that can understand and be flexible to those different things is definitely unique. I interviewed a couple people, surprisingly, from the same private club in the local area recently, and I've worked at those clubs, and so I was like, it's similar but very different. Where we do a lot more, member events than those private clubs do, and our dining is committed to 5 to 6 days a week, whereas those are committed 2 to 3 days a week, right? And our member events are 1 to 5 events a week that are food and beverage related versus those clubs which are 1 or 2 a month. And so the intensity of that is really interesting. And I was, for those that kind of arrived a little late, we were talking about just kind of start up this ambassador program for the team members, where they can be, for those that want to be more involved and be included in bigger and better things we do here at the club. We held a meeting the other day, and there are team members that want to be more involved in like the planning process of member events. And so the first thing I put up was the screen of our triple seat, which is our kind of master calendar outside of MTL. And it is eye-opening to see all the different events that we do on a daily basis, right? And I think a lot of people forget how important all of those things are, right? And it's not just the Margarita Day, and it's not just, murder mystery, but it's also, it's Better Read the Dead Book Club. It's also, Stitching Time. It's all, all these other things that are going on that we have to balance and account for when we go into planning things. That it's not just as easy as, oh, I have an idea, let's pick a date and go. It's, okay, we got to walk through kind of that whole process. And so very interesting, and but yeah, very challenging, as we have lost, catering coordinator, and Trina's last day here is in a few weeks. And so that's going to continue to be a little bit tougher situation there. So everything, you just filter through me. So I just want to keep going. So, all right, well, let's talk about something fun for a little bit. We've got upcoming events for this week in the next couple weeks. First one, I did want to kind of bring attention to the member-led expo last week, which worked really well. We had ended up having, I think it ended up 29 to 30 clubs. We had a couple extra there. Really good turnout. We had 100 members register for the event, which is really fun. I saw a lot of signups on registration forms, so it was really good. The members were not only were the club leads, donating their time to be there for a couple hours and set up tables and bring in collateral to do it, but also members were participating, signing up for things, which is also really important. So I know, talking to a bunch of the leads, they were super excited on all the new members they've met, new potential members they have to their clubs, and are excited to really get into 22 on planning all that fun stuff. So glad to hear that. We do have a couple new clubs that are doing their interest meetings starting here next week. I know Travel Talk Club met last night. Sounds like that went really well. It was full. Yeah, that's awesome. And so we've got Trilogy Car Club starting up. We've got kind of aviator club. We've got a billiards club. So there's a bunch of things that are starting up. You'll see interest meetings for those over the next couple of weeks.
We also solicited donations auction, and quite a few said,
oh, really?
We'll get something. We'll give you something.
Nice. That's good. One Day University, we've got a few more events still upcoming. Mount Everest and Power Mindset one. Really read that description. I think that one's really cool, really interesting one. And then just starting to book the ones for March. So Octave's loading all those up right now, but another widespread of presidential ones, and there's a Beatles verse Eagles or Beatles verse Stones, maybe. I don't know. There's kind of like a comparison musician one, a volcanoes one. There's just kind of once again, One Day University's got a wide range of different topics that they offer, and so we do try and pick one or two a week, and in a wide range of things.
The 1918.
Yeah,
Really,
the epidemic one.
Just talk about parallels.
Isn't that scary? And they've always referenced it, right? Over the last couple of years, they've referenced it. Oh, it's not as bad, but it could be, but it might not.
Denial, inaction, it was not good, finding masks, it was just like, okay, 100 years later, we're doing the same thing.
Isn't that crazy? Trilogy Chocolate Week, we are finishing up today. Is really our last major event for Trilogy Chocolate Week. We have the wine and chocolate tasting that we're going to do tonight, so that's why Oxnard's set up a little bit different. We're going to have Theo chocolates are here and have a bunch of different styles of chocolate, and then we have wines paired with them, which is pretty interesting. So 6 different stations for that. We have that going on this evening, and then Chef Dino still offering his weekly specials in the restaurant that are chocolate related as well. Member-led clubs. So we have Grief Support Group next Tuesday, which has turned out to be a really supportive group, obviously, but also just well supported as in attendance-wise, has been really great. Just One More Page is meeting again on Wednesday, the 23rd. We have Mahjong again on Wednesday after Just One More Page. So a bunch of clubs that are meeting next week to kind of get their spots in for February. So busy week with member-led clubs. National Margarita Day. So Holy Toledo, this was much bigger than we expected. I'll put it that way. We were hoping for 30 to 40 on a Tuesday night would be really exciting. 40 would be a huge success for us. Last I looked, which was Thursday, I think we had 85. So whoa, that exploded. But really fun. We're going to do National Margarita Day with Elevated Taco Bar. $15 per person. You can register for that on Open Table. I don't know if there's any spots left. I didn't check that before I came in here today, but we do have the taco bar, and then Christopher kind of came up with a bunch of different margaritas. So we're kind of doing a margarita flight. So you get 3 different styles of margaritas, and then there's also kind of your classic margaritas with higher end tequilas, and then we have some cerveza with it, and cerveza special. We're doing Modelo, and we're offering the Terra Blanca Malbec to go with it as well. So a bunch of different themed items for that. That is in the mantle, and you make reservations on Open Table. So, but yeah, that's going to be an awesome event. I did not. We're looking for March. I know. I was just wandering through. I don't have to wander far. Mantle's not huge, so. Yeah, like I said, we thought, Tuesday, it's National Margarita Day. We'll put something together and hope for 40, especially since ladies' lunch is that morning. And that's sold out, or almost sold out. That's 39 out of 40, which is pretty much sold out. And so we were like, yeah, maybe we'll get another 40. That's 80 for the day. That would be huge for us. And like I said, last I looked, 85. So that's 125 members for the day. So that's really impressive. So really cool. We'll probably do another one. New season, new menu. As we've been talking about, we've got new menu dropping next Wednesday. So another fun fact about the margarita thing. We were going to do our menu tasting Tuesday night because we thought, there's only like 40 people on a taco bar. We can do that and still make the new menu and still do like a staff menu tasting in a different room. So for those who don't know, every time we do a new menu, Dino spends months and months and months planning it. And then usually a few days before we bring all the food in, we make each dish, the entire food and beverage staff tastes it, we evaluated it, we make some tweaks and some changes, and then we release it in the next few days to the membership. So usually we would do that on Tuesday, but Margarita was like 85, so we're like, we're gonna have to do it a different day. So we'll be here on Monday, and we'll be here tasting the food on Monday. But these are some of the items I thought were kind of cool that to put on there. So we got fresh vegetable spring rolls, similar to what we've done in the past. Mediterranean flatbread, Thai peanut chopped salad, grilled ratatouille and burrata salad, seafood linguine, pot roast beef bourguignon, penne curry salmon. So as we kind of talked about, very unique menu in that we really went around the world. There's Italian, Mediterranean, there's Thai, there's Chinese, there's Indian, there's did I say Italian? There's Mexican, there's a whole bunch of different stuff, which is really, really exciting. But the biggest, and I think the most important part, is that there was a lot of things that members had asked us through either the survey or just personal comments in the last couple of months. And some of those needed more dinnery items. And so that's what we added to this menu. It's a bigger menu to accommodate more dinner style items. Members asked for more vegetarian options. And so we do have more vegetarian items in there. Still have a good mix of gluten-free items. More appetizers. So there's 7 appetizers, I think, on this one. So it's going to be a really good menu. It's a bigger menu. It's going to be really exciting. So we're going to release this on Wednesday. And keep in mind that we are also opening for lunch on Wednesday. So this menu will start Wednesday at 11 o'clock next week, which is really exciting. So
is there an addition to is this the dinner menu?
It's both.
This is lunch and dinner?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are some items from the lunch and dinner. Yeah. Maybe afterwards I'll put up the whole menu on the screen. I can do that. Karaoke night next Saturday. That count's continuing to raise lately, so that's great. I think we're up to nearly 40 for that. So $18. We're adding kind of pub, bar style foods with that. Hope to continue to see that grow as we hired a karaoke DJ to help kind of facilitate it. And we know that this is a really popular item on the survey. So many members say that they want to be a part of karaoke. So hoping to see, but I know a lot of members are traveling right now, so it might have been just kind of bad timing. But we're right now going to do it in Hawks Nest, which would be really, really good spot for it, and should be a lot of fun. Mardi Gras, Tuesday, March 1st. I'm trying to think if I remember how many people for Mardi Gras. I don't think I went that far, but so we got March 1st, Mardi Gras, 5 to 7. We've got kind of a traveling musician or magician who's going to kind of be walking through the tables. We're just starting to get some of the decorations are arriving right now, which is really great. So obviously Mardi Gras themed food. It's going to be a really good celebration. That'll be probably in 2 tides, depending on the size, which should be a lot of fun as we celebrate Fat Tuesday on March 1st. And then the following Tuesday, International Women's Day. It's Tuesdays seem to be like the big days lately, whether it's cooking demos, cooking universities, the member mixers, Chinese New Year's, Women's Day, Mardi Gras, Margarita Day, all these Tuesdays things, which is great. And lunch, yeah, and so it's made, men's lunch, yep, and so it's really made Tuesdays into this like ideal event days, which is cool. So International Women's Day, we started getting some members that have submitted photos, which is really exciting. So we're starting to pull together a slideshow for that. So if you know of someone or yourself wants to kind of are proud of the accomplishments that you've had, please send a picture of that to Catherine. And so she's collecting all those, putting them all together in a wonderful slideshow that will offer very similar to kind of like the Veterans Day mixers where we all kind of mingle and stuff, and then we'll have the slideshow going on as well to bring some attention to that. So we'll have that March 8th. Dino put together a nice little past appetizers for it. Should be a nice little event. And then also we're celebrating International Women's Week kind of in that regard, in that not only are we going to have the member mixer on the Tuesday, but the wine, grapes and grub that Thursday is also a female-owned and operated winery that is doing the grapes and grub event to kind of celebrate Women's Week that week. Questions? I'll pull up the menu here, actually. Any questions from online? We got a good crowd online today. Quiet crowd online today. Yes?
What are the chances of having a dance with the karaoke night?
What are the chances of having a dance with it? I'm sure people can dance while, I mean, I'm sure you can still dance while doing the karaoke. We haven't quite figured out the setup yet because the numbers kind of increased by 10 or so the last few days, 10 to 15 the last few days. So, but we can definitely make sure that there's room for that. So as I was kind of talking about earlier, I wanted to kind of show everyone we you know, like if you look at this, this is our master calendar that we operate off of. And this is just for, you know, like if you look at this week alone, like this is all the stuff that goes on here at the club this week, right? Well, we use the colors different than the way the system's supposed to. They're supposed to determine whether an event is booked or not booked or tentative or whatever. We use them really for, green ones are really identified as food and beverage driven events or build events, things that have revenue towards them. Red ones are member-led clubs, and then the turquoise teal ones are fitness classes. And so this on a weekly basis, I mean, it's a lot to maintain this on a daily basis, and to stay, you know, 30 to 90 days ahead of this is even more intense. So that's why we need more bodies to help myself get all that done. This is the menu. Dun, 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 dun. So one major notice you'll notice on the new menu is that it's now an 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 page, which is bigger than what it used to be. It used to be 8.5 by 11. So we are actually a little bit longer, which is great. Oh, I don't know if that's going to help. A little bit. So like I said, more appetizers. Just want to see how they can see it. Yeah, they can see something. Okay, more appetizers. And then if you look at salads, you know, 3 of our salads are vegetarian-based salads. You can always add proteins, whether that's chicken, shrimp, beef, or salmon to those. Our sandwiches, we added a couple more sandwiches since we're opening for lunch. So we've got, you know, ginger turkey burger, 5-spice pork tenderloin, banh mi, crispy chicken sliders, which is cool. Once again, if you can see the different flavors that are going on, just so many different things, different styles of things. Dino's really mixed it up. The other beauty too is that Dino's team has grown over the past couple of years, not only in size, but also in skill and technique. And so that's allowed us to be a little more creative. That's allowed us to offer more things and get a little more technical. So these all, and keep in mind, you know, some members don't know, but we're considered what you'd call a scratch kitchen, in that we make it nearly everything from scratch. So from dressings to sauces to, you know, most of our proteins we get as, you know, big loin and cut them all down, to all the marinades, and all those things are made from scratch. So there's a lot of time that's invested and goes into making all that stuff. It's definitely more intense than we have more of a creative freedom to do that than some of the other Blue Star properties who buy a little more prepared items. We don't buy, trying to think, we don't really buy any prepared items that I can really think of. You know, Dino, A, has earned that opportunity, but B, just his skills have allowed us to have that opportunity where he really does make everything. I mean, you know, we make our own dough. I mean, we make everything from scratch. So anyways, you know, we got lasagna on here, black peppered stir-fried black pepper steak, you know, spinach and portobello and polenta stack. So once again, more vegetarian items, more unique style items or different cultural items. And then pizzas. We did a Philly cheesesteak pizza a few weeks ago, maybe more than a few weeks ago, probably. No, I think it was like a cooking university or pizza class. I think we did, and members really enjoyed that. So we decided to add that to the menu. Fig jam and goat cheese we did kind of during a wine tasting, which worked out really well. So a lot of these too, you see, and this is kind of how we operate, is that we will do and offer these during specials throughout the week, or wine universities, cooking demos, things like that. That's how we test run our recipes and see what members think. We also made some changes to the beverages. So we added Christopher added some new cocktails like Watermelon Rambler, Sparkling Equinox, which we just did as a special recently, Peaches and Herb, the Retro Fashioned is new. We changed up some of the wines. We're now going to do K Vintner's Viognier, the Hedges CMS Chardonnay. I think there's some reds. Hightower Merlot, the No Man Malbec, Owen Rose Sinister GSM. So we do have a bunch of changes, as Catherine's made some adjustments and Christopher made some adjustments too, in addition to the menu. So we actually did more of an overhaul than we've typically done. You know, usually we only change about, I would say 50 to 60% of the menu changes. This time we're more in the 80% because we wanted to make some significant changes. But things like Millionaire Burger will never go. Spinach and quinoa salad won't ever go. Spicy Italian pizza, that will never change. Margarita pizza won't change. So there are some things that are staples that we like to keep around. So
Jason, are you continuing on with the prime rib nights?
So we're still working on dates to try and figure out when we're gonna do that. Yeah. Prime rib nights. Yeah. So we are working on trying to figure that out. We've got a busy March, and so it's kind of tough to kind of figure out the best time frame. But yeah, we're definitely, those were hugely successful. So we're definitely gonna be bringing those back.
Jason, why were the Peaches and Herb Christopher sing, or do they
Sure. Yeah. You heard it here. Christopher has to sing. I want to say Christopher will sing. I remember. I'm pretty sure he said he's singing at the karaoke thing. I think he's a singer, if I remember right.
He is a singer.
Yeah, I've never heard him either, but I think he's a karaoke kind of guy. I mean, I think he is. So, should be a lot of fun. Like I said, we're excited to have this new menu. We're excited to kind of get into March, which is going to be a busy month. And like we were talking about, we got Murder Mystery Dinner, we've got Mardi Gras, International Women's Day, we got St. Patty's Day Mixer. SSL Sightseers is going to Chinatown on the 31st of March, so that's going to be a fun tour, fun experience for that. We've got Mariners. Hopefully, we'll have a Mariners opening night watch party here. We'll see how that baseball season goes, but we also bought tickets, so hopefully it goes through for that opening weekend, so we'll see how that is. Just lots of things that we're kind of working through right now, but really exciting. We got a bunch of stuff planned, and got going to be, continue to be a little bit short staffed on the leadership team for a little while, but luckily we've got plenty of hourly team members to execute, so should be pretty good.
Well, we appreciate you keeping this place going and all this staff changes. You see proof right there that you're constantly innovating, having new ideas, see what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been quite the challenge, right? Because we kind of got to, we haven't had Doug in a while, so we had to, we got to get this going. So let's just put it down on paper and commit the time and all that. So, we're, like I said, there are some things that have slipped and have gone by the wayside that we're not happy about, but in kind of the time, we have to make some decisions. But we're doing our best to making sure that we're keeping everything moving in the right direction. So, and then it's going to get better. Yep.
Is the happy hour menu going to continue to switch like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll have a new one for March. Yep.
And how about breakfast on weekends?
So breakfast will be coming back. Yeah, we just don't know when yet. So we're gonna kind of see how things go first. Kind of get in the comfort of doing lunch every day and preparing for that, and then we'll kind of see staffing levels and stuff. We anticipate doing breakfast, but it's kind of we've got a couple steps to accomplish before we get there. And also kind of looking at talking about that, we got brunch on Sunday, which I didn't put brunch up there, did I? We have brunch next Sunday on the 27th, and right now it's kind of a low turnout. So hopefully that helps us gauge on how much support there is for breakfast. And so brunch, I think right now is 30 or so members, whereas the one we had before in January was 120. So we'll hope that kind of changes here in the next couple of days, but we use those things as markers to hey, yeah, there's plenty of support to do breakfast every day because we have 120 come in once a month. So, but it's definitely on the list, and it's definitely a top priority for us in that regard. We just have a couple of hurdles to get through first. But yep, we want to bring back breakfast. That's for sure. What other questions are out there? Shrimp tacos. We won't have those available. I'm trying to think of what's on the next happier hour menu. Maybe I should look there.
The tacos that you had a couple of weeks ago on that happier menu.
On the happier hour menu. So we sometimes. Yeah, a lot of times what we do is we'll put stuff on, and I like to hear the votes. So everyone likes the shrimp tacos, right? So, oops, that's not the one. Which one? But we do bring stuff back periodically, definitely. So we do try and mix it up, but we like to bring it back too. A little of both.
And the chips aren't going away.
Chips are not going away. No. That is a standard. Yeah. We get a lot of backlash, I think, if we got rid of those. So definitely. All right. Well, thank you all very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.